Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another week of streaming here on Going Optimal. We're going to jump into a ranked Theros Beyond Death draft today. We have ranked until Friday, I guess. The end of week switchover is going to switch from ranked Theros Beyond Death draft to RNA draft. So we're going to get in some ranked this week while we can, and then we'll probably switch over to best of one Theros for next week. And we are going to dive in. We don't have we're out of gold. We're going to dig into our gem pile here, a big gem hoard to pay for the draft today. No big deal. We've got the resources for that. Trying to, I'm feeling good. I really like this format. I basically will play any color pair that comes my way. I don't end up in red, blue a lot. And we played red, green last week, and that was a little unusual. But red is maybe appropriately underdrafted by the bots, but the result is that red can be a pretty sweet color to end up in at this point, because if all the bots are down on it, the red flows pretty reliably. Kind of like this is what happened in Eldraine, actually. I felt like red was a weak color for a long time with the bots, and then as they adjusted and suddenly all the bots were... well, I shouldn't say... It was a weak color, but the bots took it, and then the bots stopped taking it, and then it became a strong color because the bots recognized how weak it was, and then suddenly it was wide open. And feeling that a little bit with the red these days. I don't know if there's been a bot change I wasn't aware of, but I definitely have been noticing yeah, you can always get it because the bots basically always leave it open color right now is red. But it's also the consensus worst color, so that's maybe appropriate, but something to keep in mind anyway, as we continue to think about how we might exploit bots to our advantage here. If you want to take advantage of something else for your magic needs, you're going to check out cardkingdom.com. They've got everything you need for your physical game. They are my sponsor, and I appreciate all their support of this stream. And if you appreciate this stream and appreciate their sponsorship of it, you can click on my Card Kingdom panel down below. That'll take you to Card Kingdom via my affiliate link. That lets them know you got there from here, which helps everybody involved. And especially you're going to help yourself if you have needs for your physical Magic game, because Card Kingdom is one of the premier places to satisfy all those needs. Supplies, singles, sealed product, it's all there. You can generally one-stop shop everything you need for that tabletop Magic experience you've got in your brain and make it a reality. And if you do it from my link, it helps this stream. So please do that when you have a chance. If you decide that Card Kingdom is going to get your dough, click that link from here, and then it helps me out too. And we can all go drafting into the night. Let's look at our pack one, pick one. Thanks, Card Kingdom. It's the Hound. The Hound is back. We controversially took this pack one, pick one last week, 2 weeks ago, maybe sometime in the last couple of weeks. Called the deck Trap Hound because somebody we were playing that was viewing was calling it a trap card. I don't think it's a trap card. I think it's actively good. It's actively good, especially in black-white auras, because then the non-bow of all the graveyard recursion isn't as rough on you. Commanding Presence is great. Spawn is great. This is high risk, high gain. Great. This is pretty great. A lot of great auras in this pack. Blessing is nice. Both blessings. Envoy might wheel if we choose the Hound. Spawn maybe arguably right up there in power level with the Hound. I think this is obviously a more efficient card, but this could have greater long game impact than the Hound even, and it is single color. So maybe I'll pull this one. If you are gem sensitive, if you find yourself running out of gems before you're done with all the magic you want to play, you really want to just take the Hound here, because Hound is a very powerful card. So is Spawn, so is Presence, so is Blessing or whatever. But this is a powerful card that also gets you gems. We are pretty gem independent here. I play all the arena I want and more. Like, honestly, sometimes I play arena because I want to grind on my other account or something. Bottom line, playing all the Magic I want to, we have well over we're upwards on gems. So I don't have to be a slave to the gem pick, but if you are a free-to-play player often running out of gems, you should definitely take the Hound here because it's great and it's gems. We are flexible enough in our economy that we can consider taking the more flexible pick like the Spawn. I don't think it's commanding presence, but I am, you know what, I'm going to be simple here. I think it's really Spawn or Hound. I like Blessing, and I like the Blessings, and I like the Presence. But if we're really talking about how we're approaching things here, this is too high risk, high gain for my comfort. Spawn is just good in every black deck. So I think it's about whether or not we're going to take the generically great black card or the little splashier and cooler rare, but it's a gold rare. So I'm going to see where chat is at. And I have my ideas, though, of what we're going to do. And I'm curious where chat is at. Hound and Spawn, I'm only giving you those choices. You can also think about wheeling too. You know, you really do want picks 1, 2, and 3 to hopefully wheel something playable. And if we look at what might wheel here, we might hope the Transcendent Envoy wheels or the Hero wheels. Stampede Rider probably wheels if we keep an eye out for red options. The green cards wheel, but nothing relevant. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to get any relevant wheels. If so, it'll probably be the Envoy. You think Warbriar Blessing will wheel? Unlikely, given that, especially that it's the only green card of note in the pack. I think if any bots downstream end up picking a couple green cards before the Blessing hits them, they're going to snap up the Blessing because they'll lock into green. Anyway, I'm with chat. Yes, let's take the Spawn and be a little more flexible. So what has flexibility gotten us? We can take the Manticore, we could take the Devourer as effectively a blue card that goes along with the Spawn and provide some late game inevitability for blue-black control. I like that. Devourer is one of those cards that not super impressive, but in some board states becomes the most important card in the game, you know, in the game that you're playing. And so that's pretty powerful for that ability. We can also take Hierophant as another single color card rather than banking into a second color here. I really think it's probably Devourer or just sticking with the Hierophant because I don't think Dreamstalker Manticore or Dreamshaper Shaman or really any other monocolored card in this pack is clearly better than the Hierophant. But the Devourer, I think, it can be more impactful, but it's gold. So I think I'm going to take the Devourer here, hedging towards the most powerful option, and because it shares a color with our first pick. So take Devourer. Hierophant is good, but a little bit more replaceable than the Devourer, both in effect and casting cost. So I'm going to take Devourer. I could pull it, but I can't pull every time, or it drags it down too much. I like that pick. If you were on Hierophant, that's cool. We weren't that far off. We can take Fishify to continue towards the Devourer pick. Acolyte has the most raw power again in the pack, but it is another gold card, but yet another one that goes with Freaka's Spawn, and maybe even better than Devourer, although this all works pretty well together. Bleepus is a fine pick for monocolored. Funeral Rites and Harpy are fine. You know, these are all fine. I also like Return to Nature, but Fish is pretty good, yeah, but early on, I'm going to take Acolyte, knowing that we probably don't play both Devourer or Acolyte. But this is enough powerful than Fishify that I want to hedge towards where the most power is right now, and then see where the bots send us. Yeah, we could end up Sultai splashing something or another, but I'm going to try and be two color. I'm not looking to splash. If it falls in our lap, okay. But I'm going with the power pick here. This is just the most powerful card I'm seeing in this pack, and even though it's gold, I feel like we'll play the Spawn and we'll find our way into one of these two colors. Wow, I may have to pull this one because I can see it's tough already. We have the Generic card in the base color that we are expecting to be in, black. So Hierophant, super safe here. Chainweb and Thirst are maybe a little better in the abstract than the Hierophant, but both of them require taking another step towards a non-black color. So let me pull this one. We could end with 3 colors. I'm just saying I'm not looking to splash. I'm not looking to splash, but if it comes our way, I will. And I'll call it Chain for the spider, Chainweb, Thirst for meaning, and Venomous. Make sure I'm spelling that right. Oh, see, I misspelled it. I'm a terrible speller. I'm just terrible. Venomous. Yeah, Chainweb is great for the Golgari. It's best in Golgari, and that's where we'd be headed. So that has strong support for that. Thirst, strong, but not really what we're doing here. Certainly, Chainweb looks like the more synergistic pick here. But again, Hierophant, the safest pick. I still think it's a little early. Like Hierophant's, it's fine. You know, it's a good card. So you don't hate having to take something like this 4th, but it's not quite where you want to be taking it. I like this 5th, 6th, 7th is where if I'm getting Venomous Hierophants, I'm really happy about the price I'm paying for them. Close between Venomous and Chainweb. Fenner says, I feel like in Golgari, even Chainweb loses out to better escape cards in the escape slots. Man, I so disagree, especially best of 1. Because you're saying, I feel like in Golgari, even Chainweb loses out to better escape cards. So you're saying you take and don't play Chainwebs in Golgari? That seems... I've never not played a Chainweb in... I've never benched a Chainweb. Yeah, we know we want to be black, which makes this a very safe pick. But I'm gonna... My gut said Chainweb. Right, you would rather escape, but I love the Chainweb. I don't know. Maybe this is like one of the more controversial cards in the set. Like, it certainly seems like I value this much higher than many of my viewers. And maybe that means I'm wrong. Maybe it means they're wrong, but I'm just saying it's a controversial card at least. And I feel great about having one in my deck, given how dominant it is against flyers. I mean, we played against one, I think it was Tron. Maybe it was one of our regular viewers battled me in old draft decks, and I won. And the only reason I won against their monster blue-white deck is that I happened to find a Chainweb and used it a million times. Yeah, I can't speak for others. I can only say, I don't know. This does so much for me every time I play it. I don't know. I love it. This is a little tough to use. Grove Dancer, Temple Thief, Omen of the Forge, best card here, but farthest away from it. Whirlwind of Denial, I like as a counterspell option, but at this point, either Thief or Grove Dancer makes the most sense here to me. Ace of Swords says, past results don't guarantee future results. That's fair. I guess it's, I don't know who you're saying that to or in what context exactly, but if you're saying that the success I had with Chainweb in the past doesn't guarantee success with a Chainweb in the future, that's kind of a weird, I mean, what's your point? Are you saying that that I'm being results oriented and that my decision process around running Chainweb is wrong and that Chainweb is bad? Or I don't know what you're saying. Anyway. Yeah, training seems fine here. I guess we like it over... It's funny, at the beginning of the format, I would have slammed Caryatid over test and training, but training is more valuable to what's going on here. Note, we haven't really gotten any good black. Well, I shouldn't say that. The Hierophants are fine, but they're not like they're not like removal level black, right? Like Hierophant, you could make an argument, you know, I don't know where you would rank Hierophant in terms of stack ranking black commons, but it's not, you know, it's not at the top or anywhere. It's in the upper middle, right? But we haven't seen anything except upper middle black since our first pick. That was mono black. So let's keep that in mind. We'll take the training, but I'm actually wondering if we're if we're going to find ourselves backdooring into something not black with the way black is not flowing here. But Haj thinks we should take Caryatid because we may be 3 color. Is that what you're thinking, Haj? The Warden is not good enough to spec on, but it caught my eye. Red is, like I said, red is always open, and if green is open and red is always open, we could backdoor into red-green for sure. I was going to go training, but Haj points out that, you know, if we do end up wanting to splash, we wouldn't mind having the Caryatid, even though it's weak to some of the removal in the format. Yeah, all right. I'm sold. Not sold on anything here. I guess we take a boring Tower Scout over a boring Colossus over... I mean, we can take a hero if we really think there's a chance we end up green-red. I mean, we did pick up 3 mono-green cards. So if we were to grab a hero... Trouble is not a very good red card. If this were something like... Let's say this was a red Blessing or something, I would snap that up, that kind of power level. Or even an Omen. If there were an Omen here, red Omen, I would grab it. But I don't think hero's quite good enough. And yeah, this just never does anything, right? Like, it's not, although we don't have any 3s yet, but it's just not the 3 I want. So let's take Colossus as, Chariot is also a possibility, Mike, but been a little down on this too. I think I'd rather just have the big boy, although we're in pack 1, we're probably likely to get a couple more options at this. All right, I'll take the Chariot. Never play this. I've never happily played this. I think maybe I've run it in a deck or two that just needed some fillers. All right, I'll take Chariot. We can take Omen here in case we are going to add to this Caryatid. This is pick 8, so this isn't our wheel. A couple of Threnody Singers going by. It's pretty tricky. But I think we just take Omen here. Green is what's been flowing most successfully here. Oh yeah, we take Rage Hound even. Again with red cards always, consistently being available. I'll take the Omen though. Yeah, so the only green card of note in this opening pack of ours was the Green Blessing, which did not wheel. Starlit Mantle and Shoal Kraken are the best cards that have come back. Stampede Rider came back as well. This was like the only red card in the pack, but we knew it wasn't a particularly good one. I guess we take a Mantle or a Kraken. I guess we could take Skirmisher, but I just don't... I try not to play that card. I'd just rather take all the free Grove Dancers that come around in this bot draft format. So I'll take the Kraken or Mantle. Yeah, we're taking a blue card. Is it Kraken or Mantle, though, is the question. Let's look at curve. If we're like... I take the creature narrowly here. Here's a black card that came back, but we also have a Nexus Wardens. We already have a Chain Web, though, so we have some air defense. We could just take a first Soul Reaper over first Nexus. Given the... I think without the Spider, I'd take the Nexus, but with the Spider... I'll take Soul Reap number 1 here. But these both tend to come around pretty late, so it's a fairly interchangeable pick. This is interesting. Well, I mean, I guess we're in the right 3-color consideration here. clearly heading more towards black-green now. And do we like a Relentless Pursuit or a Funeral Rites? This is an interesting pick because it's looking like we're leaning black-green. These basically do the same thing. I think I like Funeral Rites better at this point. I think I like drawing. Just give me 2 for sure, as opposed to the Pursuits maybe, because I have gotten burned and just get the 1 card on Pursuit. So sometimes you just only get 1 card on this, but you always get 2 cards on the right. Yeah, green is our definite color, but I think with the way it's shaping up, black is going to be our, because this is actually a nice sign that these 2 are both here. I take Funeral Rites over that. This is a good sign as well. Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar. 3 green cards at the end of a pack. Thank you, Queen. 15-month sub. One of my OG viewers. Yeah, well, anyway, but even if these cards aren't great, like Gift of Strength and Inspire Awe aren't great, and Huntmaster I still think is a little below replacement. Maybe some disagree. Some have come up on this card. I think it's playable, but not you're not hyper excited about that. Kind of C- level to me by LR grading standards. But the fact that bots, when they're in a color, will prioritize that color and give every card of that color a significant kind of mental power level or assessment power level bump. So whenever you're in a arena draft and you see the final 3 cards in a pack are all a color you're in, you should be very happy about that, because it does mean that the bots are just likely not anywhere near that color for the most part. Jackerman agrees with the rights, even though there's people coming up with some reasons for going the other way there. Really nothing here for us but the Wanderer. I'm glad the Wanderer is here. It gives us something. Although we're not exactly constellationing left and right here. But if we do end up splashing, this will help with that as well. Fishify, maybe it could be arguable as taking it for the splash, but we are black and in just starting pack 2. I'm hoping we find our removal in black and don't have to veer into blue just to find removal. So we'll wheel the Lampad. I'm definitely taking the Wanderer here. Garbage packs for our core colors here, with Mogus's Favor, Huntmaster, and Petitioner being the only things even in our colors right now. And I guess we just take a Favor. It's not bad. It's just not what you want to be doing. Pick 2, right? Hey, there we go. Things are looking up. This jumps out at me. These jump out at me as well. Would love a Chimera or a Typhon, but we've seen again and again that a Nightmare on turn 3 is indeed a nightmare for your opponent. I don't know if I've cast this on turn 3 and lost. So as much as I love these, turn 3 you win card seems too good. Now, it's not that extreme. It's not like you play this on 3 and are guaranteed a victory, but I'm saying it has I find it a huge uphill battle to beat this when it is cast against us on turn 3, and I just can't remember losing when I've cast it early. Blessing, picking up some removal, not black removal, but good for us. We've passed a couple of Hierophants and haven't had a chance for more. I love me a Warbriar Blessing with the 4-drop Hierophant in black that has Death Touch. Aspect, we could try supporting our splash with Altar, but we already have support for the splash. I don't want color. I want green support for the splash, but there's nothing much here. We can take this Colossus. We passed one before. Are we early today, Alucardio? Nope. This is we're 45 minutes in. The time zones shifted in America. I don't know where you're at, Alucardio, but America's stupid daylight savings time nonsense happened. Talk about things that if I could snap my fingers and create a sea change of a cultural sea change in the United States, like I would do things like changing our tipping culture, but I would also snap change daylight savings time. This is so dumb. Yeah, let's take aspect. There's nothing else going on here. Hey, wow, pick 6 spawn says we may be in the right lane. Let's take another one of these. Bleeper, Dancer, Forerunner. Remorse is good, but we're going to take a creature here. Probably just Bleeper. I like a Remorse, but I wouldn't prioritize it over a 2-for-1. Yeah, Hessian Hunter. Obviously, I want you to get paid, but I'd like you to get paid a nice, consistent, fair amount that respects and rewards your hard work, and but you just know what you're going to get. How about if you just knew what you're going to get for your work, Hunter? And it was, you know, just remove the variance, but keep the average salary. Anyway, we'll get off of tipping and back to this draft. Hey, I'm going to take Bleeper. I'm going to take the Bleepus. Thank you so much for that sub. Who is that? Silo. Appreciate it, Silo. Wow, we are so in the right colors. What are we doing now? Just a Forerunner? Kind of need a Forerunner. There's a Rage Scarred, which has its uses as well, but I find that first Forerunner to be quite nice for the giving your entire team trample. Any disagreements? This is interesting too, but if this created any color, I'd be in, but this doesn't help splash blue or whatever. Sometimes it's hollow. I've had, like, this could even, you could make an argument. The time that I ran Wolf, Willow Haven, and Caryatid, I think we were playing 3 colors because the Caryatid helped, but mainly we had lots of powerful 4-drop action. So if you've got some real strength at 4, I like a Caryatid or a Haven a little better, because ramping to that power of your 4 drops on 3 can be worth it. Here, Forerunner though is what I'm going with. Here's the Lampad that wheeled like I said it would. We wheeled both other green cards in this pack. Second Huntmaster. I don't think we're ever running the Petitioner. If we were best of 3, I would take the Petitioner because I could see Boros matchups where we would want to run some frail body on life gain. And we'll take Huntmaster here. Oh, wow. All right. Look, see, this is, we're in the right place, everybody. We're in the right place. We're going to take Chimera here and be super happy about that. Hopefully we don't have to play this familiar, but not awful to have it available. Someone was talking about how the uncommon saga better than the rare saga. I agree. They could have made Timret Calls the Dead the uncommon and although this is a 2-for-1 too. You know, we'll probably take this in, especially opportunity cost. There's nothing, you know, what would we take over this? Like literal nothing. So we'll take it. It's not amazing, but we'll take it and play it. Here's one of the 4-drops that prompted me to want to run that Wolf Aura. And we'll probably take Renata here. Hateful Eidolon is also tempting, but I don't think we're doing the Aura thing quite enough to make Hateful Eidolon worth it. Although we do have, let's see, Favor, Blessing. Just make sure I'm not underselling our own capabilities there. Yeah, we're really just on 3 right now for the Eidolon, so too late to really get into the Eidolon game. But I like grabbing a Renata as an upgrade to one of these Hunt Masters at the very least. No, it doesn't trigger it, but I mean, when this dies, it does, right? And the point is, like, if you just have a huge density of auras, it doesn't matter that the aura doesn't inherently die. Like, removal aura is the best, right? When you go, when you use that Eidolon and play removal aura, you get the effect right away, but your stuff still dies. So you just generally want lots of auras when you have this, but we don't. We're going to take Renata. Another Eidolon, another Caryatid, but we also have our another Hierophant opportunity. We've had 2 chances at a Hierophant that we've passed. I think we take this one now, maybe, although suddenly we're stacked at 4. Like, I don't think we're doing Chariot anymore. I doubt we're playing that. At this point, I doubt we're splashing. And if you like Hierophant, should we just take Viper as kind of doing that thing but cheaper? Probably not playing the Aspect either. Definitely playing that. So this is more like our deck right now. Also, no way we're playing 2 Hunt Masters. But we could also cut both Hunt Masters and say, cool, our 4-drops, we have 5 4-drops and they're all good. Yeah, we can pull out Familiar too. So this starts to look more like where we're at with the deck. Probably don't want to play Caryatid. Although, again, it does, we're getting some 4s that we want to ramp to. All right, with the trimming of the deck, also we're cutting this Omen. I don't think we're going to play the Omen if we're not splashing. Might play the Caryatid anyway, we'll see. But let's take Hierophant here. With culling the deck, we still need 4. We can still play a 4, so I'll take the 4. Is this splashable? Maybe not with what auras we have going on. Oh, this gets enchantments. It doesn't just get auras. So one thing you can do with this is keep bouncing your. You can bounce your sagas endlessly. Hold on, taking some notes on who has done what. So we've got Paul. Basics are Mirage. Thanks for that, Paul. It's not only really good with Blessing, though, right, Kruzica? Because, let's see, if it bounces Blessing, we love it. If it bounces Calls the Dead, assuming, yeah, this is fine. We would bounce Nightmare. Maybe this coming down again and again and again stops doing work. Nightmare, that is. But that may be it. And maybe that's not enough to be excited about splashing a Chimera. Right? There's nothing else we're like happy to be lifting up and dropping down again. So, where does that leave us? Yeah, Wanderer is totally solid. We have 1. And we could just take that. I think I just like a second Chimera over a second Wanderer, given our curve needs. We're pretty low on 3s. Too much escape already. That's true. They do start to reduce in their value, which is the point that, was it Fenor? Somebody who didn't like the chain web pick when I made it was pointing that out, that it just competes for escape resources. But what I like about it, to go back to it though, is that yeah, it might compete with escape resources, but then you only use the resources on it when it's dominates the board, which it can absolutely do. We can just stick with the Wanderer. And let me look at 2s again. Also, we're deeper on 3 than I thought. Is that magic? Hey, Wizards, thanks for the host. 2 is pretty solid, but we would cut we would like to cut this, and really we'd like to cut, here. If we did this and this, Suddenly 2 is not that solid. I'll take a second Wanderer, I think. Is this splashable? I think it's probably not from what I remember. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another enchantment if you do so. Creature card. Well, not the deck for it, but again, I am tempted by these sagas for that purpose. But we can just grab a Rage-Scarred Berserker here. Be pretty happy about that. Only have the 1/5 drop. Maybe don't play the Nyxborn. We bring in a Rage-Scarred Berserker as some extra top-end beef. It's fine. This is not exciting, but I like running one of these in a deck like this. This is fantastic. I want that Chimera back now, but we'll take a Blessing. Yeah, Omens are, for example, Omens and Blessings are your best build around. Smock on that, right? Because Omens and Blessings basically have done their thing by the time they are on the battlefield, and you don't mind letting them go for creature value. Anything we can take here? I guess Soul Reaper, and maybe we play it. We'll see. I don't think we're taking a Mirror Shield. We're not going to run a Mirror Shield in this deck currently, so let's not worry about it. There's a Viper. We're talking about possible Viper over Hierophant earlier, and I don't mind a Viper here with double Blessing. You can get some work done when you need to with that. Thirst, interesting, but not worth the splash here. Relentless Pursuit over another 2. I'm not going to take it. If we decide we do need a Temple Thief in, or, you know, if we decide these 2s aren't enough, we have other 2s we can bring in. We're not happy with them, but I'm going to take Relentless Pursuit. I think over it, yeah. Makes sense to me. We don't need more 2s there. I like an Omen here. Again, we could take Hateful Eidolon since we've added another aura, and our stuff will die, you know, or you can sack it with the Lampad or whatever, but probably just want the Omen. Well, we certainly found our lane again. Look at this. Four cards left. They're all in our colors. I feel like we found our lane, but then the packs weren't as kind as they could have been. Yeah, between Funeral Rites and Relentless Pursuit and Acolyte of Affliction and Hierophant, we don't really need to do more of this. It's card draw, though, but I think we should just take another Viper. Maybe we won't run it. And here I like another 2-drop. Grove Dancer. Could even run this main if we want this Lantern. Last pick Mantle. 20 gems on the grind. I'll write that out. Take a look here. 4 cuts as it sits. Definitely not splashing. We're just going to run straight green black. And what I'm going to do is get out of your way, go to deck building view, and I'm going to take a pre-game pre-bio break, a pre-deck build bio break here. You guys come up with for your top cuts, and when I'm back in a couple minutes, we will figure out how to get this down to 40. Okay. All right. Hello. I should have given you our breakdown before I left. 19-8. So we have mostly we want to cut our weaker creatures, but heavy creatures isn't the worst in a deck like this. I think we can cut a Viper. A Soul Reaper. For sure. I like those 2 cuts to start. Why are we playing 50? Just so because our power level is flat and we are afraid that we're going to get decked? No, D, didn't start earlier, but it's daylight savings time in America, so we are going to screw with the world for no good reason that anybody has ever explained to me. All right, I'm scrolling up to read the opinions on not making this a 40 Carter, which I don't know. Hodge didn't like Omen over Eidolon. I can't remember what that pick was now. Wizard ran a mill deck yesterday that destroyed every black-green deck it was up against. Yeah, I bet. But so basically, the idea of those suggesting going over 40 is the basically what LR was talking about, that our power level is flat and we don't want to lose to milling. I don't think I'm going to start there. Maybe I'm just behind the curve on this type of thinking. But it feels, I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather cut. Yeah, that's fine. Let's cut a pursuit and one more creature like a Grove Dancer, Soul Reaper, Grove Dancer. I like all this stuff. Could cut a Rage Guard. We need some finishing power. Probably just a Grove Dancer. Although then we get down to, then I don't really like our count at 2. It depends on how good you feel about your 2s, Smock. I don't, again, I feel like I say this every draft. It's not that I adore the Grove Dancer, but it's excellent filler. Like, if you are, like, as far as, hey, we need to stuff a 2-power 2-drop into the deck, I really like Grove Dancer for that job. And if we don't run it, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures that we're happy to do before turn 3. 6 might be enough. I like 7. But yeah, also it does, you know, if we're running these Wanderers, we really do want to make sure we're triggering it. I almost want to just cut like a Soul Reaper. I feel like I never draw cards off of this. It's not never, though. I feel like the Forerunner trample ends up mattering just because it gives your total team trample, and you can start adding up your power versus their toughness and get a clean answer to how much damage you're dealing. And Pharika's spawns coming back as 5/6s matters. How are we keeping a Grove Dancer over a Viper? Well, Vipers died in Mogus's favor. Vipers aren't enchantments, and Vipers have 1 power. And we have 2 Nessian Wanderers. So there's a million reasons in 4 seconds for you, Eagle. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed correct, but there you go. There's lots of reasons to run a Grove Dancer over a Moss Viper. Yeah, Chimera maybe a little bit on the weaker side for as far as these decks go, but I still don't want to cut it. Sorry, we're close here. We're close. But it may be, I may just have to suck it up and cut another Grove Dancer, but I gave you my reasons why I do like it. Why do you want to swap Rights in Pursuit? I like Rights a little bit better than Pursuit. Jamie wants to cut one of the Wanderers. Yeah, maybe I'm just attached to these as being value generators, but you know, what does it really matter? I think I'm going to start here. Yeah, they're pretty low, Jikerman, but they matter. All right. Well, if Jamie's gonna hang out and be our guest here, I'm gonna finish with Jamie's suggested cut. Then I can blame all of this on Jamie, right? In fact, we're gonna call it Jamie's fault. It's already your fault. Oh, wait, we had, let's see, did anybody choose the box art? I know we had Mirage Lands for the basics, but I didn't see any redemption for the other stuff. Let me know if you know, and I'll respect that, of course. Mirage was the request here. Renata for box. Don't worry, Fenner, it's Jamie's fault. Oh, hey, Krauser. A little late on the redemption, but we'll make that adjustment if you remind me after the first game here. We'll keep this. That's true. Another Jikerman poses a possible build where we just go to 16 based on the strength of the Double Wanderer. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable argument. You know me, I'm a sucker for arguments to run 16 lands, but they have to be good ones, and that's a good argument. Sad Town, no 2-drop, no 3-drop, or sorry, no 1-drop, no 2-drop. And we're up against an aggro start from Oppo. Very aggro. Very aggro. We can't really put 3 power down here, so we're going to have to trade off Soul Reaper for the Hound. And then what are we doing? Well, we could just take it all and try and make... Well, anyway, this is our only play. So we're going to start here and then figure out whether we are trying to make a trade for the Hound or whether we're just going to bless next turn. Because we can go Blessing and make a 2/5 that can fight. And if we just fight the Rage Hound... Alright, well now we have at least blocks. Now with Soul Reaper holding back those other two, we need to not block. Gotta take 8 here. Ouch. But if we block... The trouble is if we block here, they get 5 in anyway. They get a 1/1 replacing this. This drops to a 4 power. But it's still... It's just too much damage next turn. So then we're going to bless, and what we really want is any of our 1 or 2 drop creatures, or another blessing. Yeah, we might have to take out Gallia, or else we're simply replacing 2/2s with 2/2s, right? Because the Anax is going to create 2/2s. So, sadly, did not find any other action for the turn. But maybe we're not deader than dead. Oracle matters because it exiles. But yeah, we have to get rid of Gallia or else the resulting Satyr tokens made by Anax are too big. Yeah, and it won't be able to pump to 5 even with a land drop here, the Oracle, so Oracle shouldn't be charging in this time anyway. And then we get the question of bounce off Anax or eat the Rage Hound if they attack with both of those. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a forced block on Anax actually because we can't... If we block the Rage Hound, they get to pump for 2. So but almost like, I mean, we can't just die, but we're basically dead. Oh yeah, I guess we block Oracle. But then aren't we dead? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost no matter how we do this, we're looking pretty close to dead. But yeah, Mike's right that if there is any hope whatsoever, it's in Soul Reaping here. I wonder if we can somehow like draw Mogus's favor and take out 2 things. Trouble is all these produce annex tokens and we're just dead. Thank goodness this is Jamie's fault though. Man, it's really nice to stream with no pressure whatsoever and to have 100% of anything negative that happens be some other streamer's fault. It's pretty cool. All right, we got a destroyed. Destroyed. Sorry, my info is not correct down there at the bottom, but we'll do that. Let's see, we're going to go in and get sleeves for... Was it some magic mirrors? Was that this one? What's the magic mirror sleeves? I don't know. This is what we've got, though. And I'm going to get my record adjusted, sadly, to the correct 01. We are on free-to-play 1. And we're just beat 01 over here. All right. The elk one. The elk one, there we go. Krauser says, unexplained vision sleeve, like I remember art. Sometimes I remember art, but not in that case. Oh yeah, let's do that. I like that plan. Let's try the greed plan. Bring back in our wanderer and keep the second grove dancer and trim a land. Yeah, we got a Bleepus. I rarely run 16 land in a deck that contains a 6-drop. But in this case, it's because we're treating these wanderers as ramp, basically. Not because they ramp us to 6 a turn early, but they help us actually make our 6th land drop on time. So I'm going to recapture this. Let's try it with this. We can keep land light opening hands with Wanderer, though. That's the thing. Basically, in the assessment of openers, Nessian Wanderers become effectively a 3rd land. They can't become a 2nd land. Like if you have 1 swamp and a Wanderer, you're sad. But if you have a swamp, a forest, and a Wanderer, you're happy with that opener, right? So effectively, in terms of what our openers look like, we kind of have an 18-lander. Great God beat a Kiora bests the Sea God. Great God bests Kiora bests the Sea God. Right? I doubt your opponent feels there is justice in Magic, Great God, but cheers to your awesome result there. Awkward. We got the Wanderer. So we got our 3rd land, so to speak, but it is effectively another forest. We can't play anything else. However, we're on the draw, and I'm greedy, so I'm keeping. Never punished. You all know I'm never punished. And our the buddy system is working. We kept both our wanderers and both our dancers, and we have one of each here. Viper. All right, well, we can 2-spell this turn with Grove Dancer Viper, and that makes more sense than like leaving up the Omen. Although we can, since I can play the Forest and drop the Viper, we'll just go ahead and dance before we even look at our play a land. Nice. Wanderer also doing defensive work against the Piper. If Oppo attacks with Soul Reaper, probably just offer the Viper. Oh boy. I was saying how hard it is to lose when you get an Elspeth's Nightmare early. I mean, this is turn 4, so turn 4 on the draw is a little bit slower than you want to get max value out of this, but let's see. The question is, what do we take out? Devourer of Memory, on some respects, is the scariest card here, but we actually have Mogus's Favor in the deck, so I'm not concerned about losing to Devourer. And if we go with the Soul Reaper, we can start attacking with the Grove Dancer, being like, who cares? You want to trade? That's fine. We can even, it becomes a use for the Omen. But Devourer, we don't have the Mogus's Favor, so we could just take the Devourer to be a little bit safer and play a longer game here. But basically, it's the 3 toughness versus the utility of the Devourer. Let's cast this. Yeah, I guess we'll take the Devourer out. We don't have the answer quite yet to it, just right in hand, so that makes some sense. But it was Soul Reaper or Devourer. I'm not exactly sure what the time-traveling supercomputer would say, but that's what I said. And now we'll say no attacks and sit back. Omen available if needed. Probably won't. I love this stuff in our hand. A little nervous because we're up against black, so we can get our hand stripped if we're not careful. Witness of Tomorrows is great. Now I really want to find one of those blessings. Let's see if we find anything in their hand. This is usually the reason Elspeth's Nightmare is so good early is that usually gets a spell from their hand in chapter 2. No guarantees here though. Probably if they had a spell, they would have used it, right? Yeah. Second Witness is rough to see. And yeah, we'll Berserk here. If we indestructible up the Viper, nobody will ever block it. Do we have other attacks? Nothing else can attack through, so really the only thing to do is put it on the Viper, because Witness blocks everything else successfully. As Mike points out, I see. Double Witness. Boy, I sure would like to find that armchair spider right now. That's what my slightly dyslexic brain calls that card, but obviously not what it says. Here's one of our blessings. Yeah, we can actually just get the blessing back with the Acolyte here. It gets rid of one of them. I'll throw that land out. Yeah, I don't know why you'd mill me. I mean, I guess if this is their win con, like this, we actually are vulnerable to it. The irony of like these milling targeting us is that it's great for us until it's awful for us, right? Mike says attack first, then figure it out. Makes sense. Let's see what they'd like for this Berserker. Fair enough. Mike points out they were going to lose their yard, but still, do you want to help? Do you want to help a green-black deck with their escape? I think you should. I don't think you should target green-black with milling unless it's really your win con. We'll take a 2-for-1 here. No need to do anything other than accept. Oh, I guess we'll take the Mogus first, though, if there's any reason. I think they're just understandably going on the strength of their double big flyers, and now we needed to kill him with blessing, though, right? Well, I was just going to use blessings on the flyer, like 2-for-1 ourselves effectively to Viper a flyer. That was my thought. I don't know. Like, we can also, I mean, if you really think we need to blessing this, we can omen it back right now and replay it. And we can also, now we play this, it doesn't actually get big enough to take these out. So I'm going to go with Omen and Omen back the Rage Scarred. Or we could Omen, yeah, we could actually Omen back the Acolyte. If we, yeah, Omen the 5/4 for next turn? How are you doing all of that? I don't understand. Yeah, but I don't. But Mike, you're talking about doing things this turn I don't understand. Or I mean, Acolyte. Oh, so that we can. Yeah. I'm understanding where Mike is coming from now. I wasn't understanding before, but we can start. Let's at least start here. Oh man! All right, we'll get a blessing back. And then we can end the turn. Since we have the land in hand, we can have 7 mana next turn to Rage Scarred, blessing the Rage Scarred. We can even, actually we can Rage Scarred, make the Viper indestructible and bless the Viper, which I think was what Mike was trying to get at. Still have another flyer to worry about, but this taking the first one down is a big start. And then we can start attacking too. Okay, just an altar. I was a little worried about what this is, but this is decent for us. I guess we'll let them choose their color before we cast our spell. But we got a 2-for-1 attacking with the Rage Scar Eagle, so I don't know how much easier you think it would be if there was a Soul Reaper and a Piper still on board. It would just be complicated because of that. I'm quite happy with the 2-for-1 we got. I'm not sure what Oppo's looking at, but hello, Oppo. They might not know it's on them. I mean, they have witness activation that they can do. Yeah, we did have a plan, though, at least. In any case, we're following through on the plan we came up with, regardless of its relative quality. You can only play from the spot you're in forward. Can't go back. Could bless the Berserker, but I like getting a high toughness Death Toucher, or getting our Death Toucher a little higher toughness. Why would we ever stop getting lands with the Wanderer? Because of fears of milling? At 18? I don't think so. I think we just still want to find action. We're not going to win this by not... If we lose this to decking, it's because Oppo has done something to successfully take over the board and stop us from winning that way. We made the Viper indestructible with Rage Scar Berserker. That was the whole sequencing plan. Guess I should... might upkeep Scry here, so I should put that in place. Gary making the race tougher. And let's see. We now... it's not must kill... But we should scry here and look for some of our... especially that Arachnid. The uncommon spider would be nice. Hey, there it is. And Lampad, also solid follow to sacrifice it and be able to rebuy it. If we, although we're just going to block. If they don't, but if they don't block, we can draw that and redeploy. Let's see, we got... We can even play the spawn as well. And do we have attacks? We have the Viper, which would, yeah, Viper is a clean attack. They don't have 3 power over there for it. Should have figured out my attack before starting. This is also a safe attack. This is a safe attack. This is even a safe attack. Grove Dancer gets eaten by Gary, so we leave that back. We'll just send those. Also, we need a little defense of our own here at 5 life, but this handles the air, and then we have 2 creatures that can block Gary if they happen to draw removal for one of the other ones. Oh, that's a line I didn't think of, Jikerman. It should have been explored. I don't know if it would have been better or if that's fancy play syndrome, but Jikerman observes that with the Grove Dancer, we could have stacked our Spider to mill it and then actually bring it out just immediately for the 5 mana cost. I wish I had seen it. I don't know if it's actually a better approach. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, no, we had, we would, if we milled it, we would have 5 left and could pull it out, right? I thought we had enough mana. Right, but in our next turn we have 8 mana. We could have stacked the deck such that it was on top during our main phase where we had 8. And with 8 mana, we spend 3 to mill it and 5 to bring it back. But Lampad is... Lampad being a dead card is no big deal. We still wanted it. But yeah, we can do that now this way, and I think we will. Let's. They're out of cards, and we want to make sure this thing is dead. Oh yeah, we can also just try and swing out and win. And I'm still in getting land mode, Mike. I don't think I'm worried about decking here. Get this. I don't know if it's lethal or not. I don't care. I'm working the spider plan here to take out this other flyer. I feel awfully far ahead, that's for sure. Now I think we just swing away. Hey, look, everybody, I remembered to sacrifice my about-to-die for no-value creature to the land pad. Sometimes I remember stuff. All right, got one at least. We will blame Jamie for that win, too. Oh, I spent the whole time up here. I forgot where my camera was. Sorry. I guess it didn't matter too much, or I would have heard a chorus of move. Or maybe I just missed the chorus of move. What was the win on board? Do we have enough mana to sack all of our stuff to the land pad and win? Could have just been swing away, machine gun, land pad. I wanted to give a +1 to the... I wanted to score 1 for the spider, so I had to play it for the spider, right? Not right, but yes. All right, we'll keep this. Got our Wanderer on 2 into enchantments to find additional land. If we find a natural third land, we can just Timuret on 3. No, that doesn't do... Timuret's too risky on 3, never mind. You want to make sure you've got some graveyard, if you can, before you do that. So we did find our third land, but again, doesn't mean we should play Timuret because we don't... We're going to put 3 into our graveyard, but if we don't find an enchantment or creature card, we get no value out of it. And even though we're highly likely to find an enchantment or a creature with flipping 3, I'm not going to do it when we can just Grove Dancer. That's another good point. Grove Dancer is something we actively want to trade off anyway. It's kind of part of its job here is just to give us some early defense. Three cards in yard is not irrelevant value. You're right, Mike. But you understand what I'm... Would you have played it there, though, Mike? Like, you think getting mill started when we had a real creature that actually has a job to block? Like, I'm trying to understand if you're just observing the value or whether you actually would have played Timuret in that spot. All right, well, now we're gonna drop Renata and hope she sticks. Not counting on it, but if Renata lives, we're in fantastic shape. And this is the power of the Wanderer. It's like, again, we're not drawing serious action, but just getting extra lands every turn just guarantees we're hitting our land drops and getting everything out on time and all that. Oh, a Nightmare as well. So many choices we could have here. With 5 mana, a 2-spell turn could be Blessing Nightmare. It could be Timuret Nightmare. If we go, but I want to use Nightmare while it's at its best. So we're going to go Nightmare and then possibly Blessing. Right? That's like Nightmare is the card that is amazing but gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to do Nightmare because I want it to be at its peak possibility, and that means playing it right now with the hand hate especially. Sure, more lands. Oh, maybe they're going to pump it. Oh no, it's just self-sack. Okay, sure. Obv. Its True Spawn blocks it. We don't have to play this just because we have it. But it does save damage this turn. It increases the toughness on Renata to 5, which in a red deck that has access to the red blessing, like getting to 5 toughness is relevant. So I'm going to do it not because it's so important to kill this charger, but because it uses all our mana and takes our best card on board and really one of our important cards for the rest of this game, and takes it out of range of a lot of the removal that this color pair has. Basically, Blessing and the Red Blessing and Mire's Grasp are both no longer answers to Renata, and that's not nothing. Taking away their common, a couple of their common removal spells. All right, we can actually probably let him have the Aspect. Seems like Portent is the thing that really gets us here. Aspect, thanks, with all these extra lands we're drawing, Aspect is really just a lifelink enchantment for 4 mana, which is like nothing. Yeah, Aspect puts stuff in the yard, which is okay, but like this, they get to steal Renata and sack her, so like we can't allow that to happen. Timuret. We can now do Timuret effectively, but we can also just spawn. I'm gonna spawn it. Yeah, 3/3 zombies are good. Do we? Oh yeah, we have a clean attack. They have 3 total. Yeah, let's figure out our whole turn, Ryan. I'm just doing my thing where I failed to plot out the whole turn. So I think I like playing the spawn. Yeah, but I'm just trying to use more mana. I don't know. Maybe it's more power over the course of a couple of turns. Yeah, it's true. We could even discard spawn to it. All right. Well, I'll start with the attack. As observed, we have a clean attack here, so let's do that. Fenrir wants to play spawn from graveyard, which basically says we, make them go ahead and cast the Aspect, and then we can cast it from graveyard. But we'll go ahead and Timuret here. I mean, we did Buckeye, right? The thing that got me over the edge to that one is that like the 2 creatures over the course of 2 turns is more power and toughness on the board than the 1 spawn anyway. Yeah, the Saga mills, so we would have gotten the support for it that way. All right, let me update my record. Oh wait, we have 2 wins now, right? I'm a little behind on my updating. We're 2-1. Jumping back in, here we go. Discarding spawn, you might think of it as fancy play, but basically if it says, okay, discard this and you can have a 5/6 that exiles a creature next turn or kills a creature, or don't and you just get a 3/4. Like, there's total, it's not, I don't think it was necessarily fancy play. Certainly needed to be considered. We're gonna keep this. Chainweb into Wanderer, into Grove Dancer, or maybe into Chimera. Chimera doesn't give us a trigger on the Wanderer, but if it's correct to do so, we'll just run out the 4/1. Nightmare says what we really want is a swamp off the top. Do we want to send... Nah, we won't send in, but I will go ahead and... I don't mind chumping with the Chainweb, because we want it ultimately in the graveyard. And blue-white, which we're seeing so far, doesn't really have any graveyard hate to speak of. Heliod, no joke. As long as your devotion away... Oh, yeah, right. It's hard to become a creature, but... so we're looking for life gain. And looks like that targeted life gain is annoying. Boy, really wish we did draw a swamp. If we found a swamp, we could hit the hero and be okay. But we also have double block the hero and basically only get the 1-for-1 that we want. So that's okay too. Maybe Grove Dancer, though, and look for a swamp here. Although it doesn't really... Like, swamp or forest could be played this turn and wouldn't matter. But there's our swamp that we wanted. We'll go ahead and lead with that here and stay back. Don't think we have answers to Heliod. That would be, of course, revoke existence in white, and the green uncommon put an enchantment on the bottom of its owner's library. We don't have that either, so we're pretty much facing Heliod for the rest of this game. None of our cards deal with it. But it's still imminently beatable. And here we're going to just Nightmare to start. Take out the hero. Yeah, Libation does as well. Nothing in our deck does, though, is the main point. Oh, I guess Bleepus. Yeah. Good point. Taj acknowledges that... we do have Bleepus in the deck, so if we got there, we could -5/-5 it. So I was not right. There is a long shot way to deal with Heliod out of this deck. Anyway, we'll take out the big one. Blanked on the Wanderer this time. Thank you for that sub. Appreciate that, Deep Coco. I'm going to send these to... don't need this to be dead yet. Do I want to offer Grove Dancer? I want to offer them trades because this Heliod makes their creatures better. I guess I'll send in Wanderer and Grove Dancer, and we'll leave the Spider back to trade. And if they do, because we don't care, like, we're happy to get Grove Dancer in the yard, right? We don't care about that. And if they want to trade, it adds to the stuff they're going to lose. Why do you want to leave the 2/2, Mike? I'm curious why we're not wanting to be aggressive. Yeah, but I'm happy to race with them. We want to trade on block, but I don't know if they're going to attack. And if they use, I don't know. I'm doing it. If they want to spend 2 of their mana this turn to give this lifelink, I'm okay with that. I don't think that's good use of their mana. We're in developing. Heliod takes over in the late game when you've got all this mana to throw around for no other value. But if Oppo wants to spend their early turns activating lifelink on a skirmisher, I am in for that. I say do it. Now later, if they make it to the late game, then those turn by turn activations become a real problem. But 2 mana, no joke. If it was free, yeah. And I also don't mind just chumping with the chain web. That's the other thing. If they did do something to buff up the skirmisher here, I'm happy to chain web. Look what they just went through to get rid of our replacement level 2 drop. Okay, what do we do about that? Do we just lose when they find an island? Probably. So now we just need to be going pedal to the metal as fast as we can. So to that end, we need to play an enchantment first so that we can find another land for the Wanderer. So we're going to play Grove Dancer, look for a land. And I guess we want a swamp here. And I'm going to go with Chimera as the biggest power level threat. But we'll see what attacks we have first. Do we have any? No, we don't. All right, so just Chimera pass. Dancer couldn't go, we just cast it. It was summoning sick. All right, we got Renata. Renata can find potentially. Yeah, I guess we go Renata so that our zombies are big again, and then from here, what can we send in? If we send in Wanderer, they could double block, and we'd get the Skirmisher. That would be okay though. Chimera likely to trade 1-for-1 with the Skirmisher. I'm going to send everything. It's kind of all we've got. Haj says I need to think about it. Maybe Haj. I feel like at the end of the day, though, the only way to beat this trawler for us is to race it. So I don't know what choices we have besides crash in every turn with just about everything. I mean, plan A is they never find an island, right? That's plan A. We'll see how it goes. It just gets out of hand so quickly, though, right? We'll see. I mean, when you stare down your opponent's Dream Trawler, you don't really expect to win. So if you can somehow manage to, it's all just gravy. Yeah, Mike points out, though, that we can make a blocker, at least. Chain Web into Renata is a 5/6 that can actually block a So we have this Omen of the Dead in our deck that allows us to get back our Renata, which allows us to All right. Yeah. Oh, we already have the Acolyte. Never mind. I was thinking about Omen as our way to get it back, but we're good. Spawn, if we can... that's a way to get... That would be an incredible trawler kill if we can somehow trade off here. Ahead of the trawler, but let's go ahead and Acolyte back Renata. And yeah, gotta be Renata. Mike says wait.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap
oh yeah, I missed my 2 spell. So be it. Gonna Renata. Now we leave everything back and try for a triple block. I don't think we would have... I guess we would have funeral rites, yeah. We certainly wouldn't have Timoretted, though. We want to get Renata down first. Well, please send in Siona. Pretty please. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I didn't want to do, like, Timoret. Do we really want to do Timoret last turn ahead of Renata? I mean, now it's all kind of... Now they found their dealio. I mean, I guess all we've got is Renata and Timoret, but this is bad. I'm not going to scoop quite yet. We still have ability to block. We're not dead yet. That's why we're doing this, right? Like Mike is pointing out. I mean, this whole convoluted sequence is so that we can chain web into Renata and actually be able to block this thing. Although the trouble is Heliod gets it bigger and bigger, right? Renata and Spider blocks for like a turn, but the lifelink happens, and that's where things get bad. So we have some things to do here, but it's not really gonna get us there, I don't think. We need to overwhelm them with answers to the trawler. I mean, that's another thing we can do, is if, like, maybe there's a way in which we... trouble is you need instant speed. Yeah, this is rough. Oh yeah, we had Uro and went like 2 and 3 with our Uro deck because, you know, magic. Come on. I think this is pretty much over, but only because the lifelink with Heliod is actually going to make that trawler bigger. It's too bad. We actually had a good answer to the trawler this game. We just don't have an answer to trawler plus Heliod. That being said, maybe they do something to animate Heliod. We find our Bleepus, we bleep Heliod to death, and then we kill the Dream Trawler before it gets another counter, and... okay. Uh-oh. Look! Stop introducing my plans to reality. I don't know, is Oppo's deck insane? It's got Mythic and it should be Mythic, but beyond the 2 Mythics I haven't seen anything that's insane. In fact, it's a little greedy. Probably looks like a looks to me like a pack 2 pick 1 dream trawler. I don't know. If we're just at the point where somebody has a mythic and a rare that are good and we call the deck insane, then we're falling into the hyperbolic trap of Magic. But pretty darn dead. Anything worth fighting for here? Or are we just stone? Yeah, maybe they don't know about Trawler's ability. I guess we should at least play our spawn. Part of our answer to this involves getting spawn out. Where are we at? 11 cards? Ugh. No, it can't really. Spider plus favor. You think it blocks Trawler, but really Heliod just says no, it doesn't. It wouldn't matter though. Like I hear what you're saying. Like, yes, I could have done a chain web play this turn, but all it does is say that they untap, they give lifelink to the human soldier and attack with it. Like, it doesn't change anything. Nothing, unless you can show me how we had a clean way to actually then force them to attack and kill the dream. It just doesn't matter. Like, we're better off at least trying to trim them of creatures here. I want to send Renata. I mean, we could try and -2/-1 the Trawler, then they discard a card and it doesn't work. I guess I'll keep Renata back though. Viper can fight Siona, favor to kill soldier, and escape spawn to get the Trawler sack. How? Yeah, that's... All right, let's try and do that. No, we have... I think the line that's being discussed that could actually turn this into a win still is managing these other two creatures. But maybe it's too late. Maybe I needed to do that last turn. But we have favor, blessing. Favor and blessing get these two, and then we can work on a dead spawn. But favor, blessing, chain web temporarily could do it for the short term. Like, we survive a turn. Ooh, Storyteller getting Heliod. Now there's a lot more to try and contain. Well, not a lot more, really just the Storyteller. But we'll still go down this path. There is naught else to do. Yeah, let's see. Do we swing before we do anything else? We can try that. And there's nothing else that's worth attacking with into the Heliod here. Nothing else we want dead. I think they just take this, though. Yeah, I expect the Oppo to take this. They're at 33. They can read the spawn. Are we dead next turn? I don't think we're... Oh, I guess it's got trample. Trample, what gives it trample? Oh, the, trample might make it too much, but we're gonna bring out the spider and hope it's enough. After we bless Siona. I think there's enough interesting stuff going on here that I want to keep going, even though we're still probably not going to win. I suppose I should stop taking lands, but honestly, I feel like if we actually do clear this board, we can do 34 damage in a handful of attacks. It's just that we need to get super lucky for it all to work out before then. Dream Trawler, probably the best card in the format. I don't know about Heliod, though. Heliod seems imminently beatable. Oh, I don't think we win the mill game. We've been running Wanderers. Our deck is almost empty. We do have a Lampad that we could sack spawn with. Over, like, cards that are first pickable over Heliod in the abstract, like stack ranked? Man, I think there's, like, a bunch, aren't there? Heliod's tough to beat in the long game, but you can absolutely beat Heliod with some early action. I think we're done for now, though. If we could spawn 4 times, we'd get there. But it all came together a little too late on that front. So let's move on. All right, we've used up all of our fouls to give on what is a solid deck. I hope we win another couple more times. We'd love to get to above 500 on this one. Looking good again. See what we can do. See where it goes. Thassa, pretty good too. I'd rather have Thassa over Heliod, I think. Well, so that's annoying. It's going to get our Moss Viper most probably, but I'm going to play the Wanderer now anyway. One way we could find a way out is like if we can trade Moss Viper off for a different creature of theirs. It's honestly stuff I haven't thought about too deeply because they're both mythics. All right, well, yeah, we're going to go ahead and, well, if we play Grove Dancer, the trouble is then we continue to give them a chance at a 2-for-1 off Celebrant. I'm actually going to go ahead and Funeral Rites this turn in hopes that they offer up the Rider for the Moss Viper. We could swing with the Moss Viper, yeah, Mike, but then they just get to take it and attack back with the 2-3. I'm going to stay on D and hope that because they are red-green that they get impatient and decide that they need to be attacking with the Stampede Rider, especially if they come up with something to make it big. Although they won't if they can't make it big because we just have the Wanderer. I'm gonna draw and give it one more turn to not get blown out by the Celebrant. Offer it up, come on. All right, great. And I'm happy about this because we get a 1-for-1 Moss Viper on Rider. And then next turn we can Mogus's Favor the Celebrant. It doesn't have anything it can kill. And then we can Grove Dancer and only have 1-for-1 for the Celebrant. So that's what we're trying to do, is get some 1-for-1s here instead of giving up value to this Celebrant. And Oppo has made plays that allow us to do that. Now we have a 4-4 we got to deal with, but it looks like we got a way to deal with that too. Grove Dancer and Spider here. Oh man, you got it. Chump that, snap it off. In fact, almost just want to block. What if we just block with everything here? The Wanderer's already gotten tons of value. Maybe they keep the Chain Web around, but I like this. If they want Chain Web and Grove Dancer, I don't even consider that a 2-for-1. We want the Chain Web dead, and they can't get a 2-for-1 without going Grove Dancer Spider. Maybe they didn't think we would give up our Wanderer or something, but we've already gotten tons of value there. I salute you, Wanderer. Yeah, like, fantastic. You got it, buddy. Here we'll go Berserker, enabling a Grove Dancer attack. And then we have a Blessing on Berserker to take out the Forerunner next turn. All right, that looks great for us. The playing of this in the second land, knowing that we can take out Forerunner next turn. I'm going to go ahead and take the chump here because I want this Spider dead and we don't have sacrifice ability. That's why I like. I've heard some people complain about this card because, well, it's not good until you escape it. And it's like, well, how hard is it to have a spider die? They have attack with anything, and you can have your spider dead. A good attack for us, but we can't attack or we lose it on the crack on the attack, so we'll just wait. And we could favor the Grove Dancer and attack with that, but still, I think we just wait. The long game is looking great for us now. They need to top deck serious action or they're going to be dead soon. And I'm going to remember to mill because we've got escape we want to do, so we definitely want to be milling here. Milled some action, but that's okay. You do what you gotta. And yeah, let's just start with the Berserker attack and see if Oppo has anything. I think they're probably just sandbagging a land, but you never know. Maybe they got some instant speed action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was thinking about that, Eagle. We could, if we wanted to give up the Grove Dancer for the Herald, we could have attacked with the Grove Dancer, let them block, and then bring back the favor to finish it off. But we're in a commanding position here, and I just wanted to do the Chain Web here. All right. Okay, we made it back to even. We got at least 3 wins out of this, which feels good. Feels like a 500 plus type deck. Jump right back in. I'm gonna, while I'm thinking about it, get my numbers updated. All right, looks good again. Looks like some aggro up from Oppo, but looks like they mulliganed. So mulligan helps us. We got Wander to block Wayfarer, even if they pump it once. They are curving out, though, pretty aggressively. So, do we block? Even if they come up with an instant speed aura, it won't be enough. I'm not going to block the Thief because they could play like the Black Omen just as a removal spell. But, well, what are you afraid of, Mike? Are we afraid of, like, Blessing? We just don't want them to bless this and kill it? Is it that important? I mean, at least if they bless and kill it, we have something for Timoret. Yeah, plus Will is enough? Okay. You got me. Will, I wasn't thinking about Will. But I do like dropping a Chimera, although we could put Soul Reaper and just put him to that choice. But Chimera trades with just about everything, even if they will or whatever. So it doesn't get us land, but we don't need it yet. So I'm going to attack with the Wanderer, and I'm going to drop the Chimera and be willing to trade it off for one of these two. And now that it's here, which one? Kind of like the Wayfarer off the board. It's a little more annoying. Mike wants to go for the Thief. Chimera doesn't trade. That's fair. Chimera doesn't trade for Will. But I guess now we're trading for the trick. We got to start blocking. We can't just sit here taking this aggression. At least this one comes back to live another day, to fight another day. And the Will eats the Chimera on either, exactly. So we're not beating Will regardless of where we block. They both have interesting things going for their blocking. I'm gonna go. My instinct was Pious. I'm gonna go with it. There are good arguments for either one. I'm not sure if this is better for our EV versus the Temple Thief, but I'm certainly more comfortable not having to play with this on the board, which is part of its power. You know, we've been assessing just how good is this card. It's certainly come way up on where I was at the beginning. Well, that mucks with our deck quite a bit, but good news is we can drop a Soul Reaper here, take a couple of attacks, and then if they tap out especially, we have Blessing. Well, no, we need 3 power before we can actually bless our way to a dead dog, huh? So Timuret works through the Hound. We could do Timuret. But yeah, I guess we still just start with the Reaper and figure it out. I'm just noting that we don't have the ability to kill the Hound yet. Oh, 2/3 blocks the 2/2s as well. I mean, obviously we're worried about a trick, and it seemed like maybe they had one, although keep in mind the Pious Wayfarer and Thief both attacking into the Wanderer. Neither one of them, even if they have no tricks, it was still a safe attack because the Wanderer couldn't kill either one. So just because they made this attack with Thief and Wayfarer into Wanderer doesn't mean they actually have anything. And they didn't do anything to stop the Chimera block last turn. Of course, they drop the Hound and it renders this thing irrelevant. So, oh right, 2/3 can't block the Thief. Sorry, but we get a. I'm gonna try this. Well, now they're suggesting we could take the offer for the Hound. Now, of course, if they have, let's see, what we're thinking, Blessing. At 6 toughness, it's pretty tough for them to actually come up with a straight. We can't try and eat the. I wanted to try and eat the Thief until chat went and read cards. This is a no reading channel. I don't know why you would do that. Read a card, and then tell me what it does. Why don't you like this? Oh yeah, same. Why don't you like this though? Why shouldn't we try? Yeah, Blessing can kill Thief next turn, but Timuret plus Blessing can kill Thief next turn. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to try this. I think most of the things they have here that pump it don't actually get both of them, right?
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
All right. How is that for a trade, Mike? You like that? Thank you for that sub, by the way. And now we'll go Timuret and bless the zombie token for dead thief, and it actually makes a zombie big enough to block the 3/3 as well. Oh yeah, I could double block the charger, that's true. I chose to be aggro. They haven't shown anything yet. I'm going to keep calling this bluff. Well, somehow that was enough for Oppo. I didn't feel like we were that oppressively ahead, but Oppo did? Question mark? I don't know. Mike makes a good point, though, in terms of observing that we could take out the Hound doesn't mean that we should, because it was actually good for us to just bounce endlessly off of that 3/3, then allow it to become a 5/5. All right, well, Oppo gave us our early win there to bring us to 4 wins. We have achieved guaranteed better than 500. I like that. Got to acknowledge that our mana has been great today. Feels like every hand has been 3 lands, 2 of one, 1 of the other. You can't ask for much more than that. And we get Wanderer into Soul Reaper, into Renata, into Forerunner. Like, if they don't disrupt us, we're going to go off here. Well, 2x Wanderer helps with the long-term mana, but I'm just saying our starting hands have been very good. Yeah, that's another thing that's happened. Wanderer has been that 3rd card sometimes. That 3rd land, I mean. Well, Oppo starting with the annoying Life's Bounty, but we do have our curve out in effect. Niatron on 3 for Oppo, and a weird deck. I really don't think... I'll say it of Life's Bounty and Warden of the Chained belong in a deck that you're happy with how it came out. Like, to me, this says something went wrong. My usual start time, D, but it's just an hour off from what you're used to. Did we talk about that before? Sometimes D needs to hear things a few times, I guess. Oh, he was. Dionysus has already asked this question. Not sure what is going on in his head. But is anybody? I'm not sure D is. Nothing for the Wanderer this time. We moved our clocks 1 hour ahead today, so... Dionysus, serious question, though. You are thanking Mike right now for a question you already had answered before. Yeah, but we talked about this, like, way before. Oh, you didn't understand my answer, so you don't know what daylight. I don't know. Maybe. I thought Europe was at least aware of America's craziness on this front. We could just play Spawn. What does Forerunner do? If we're not attacking almost no matter what we play, I'll just use the best use of our mana, though. I'm in my American bubble, I guess, then. But I truly thought that the world understood. I mean, is this the truth? D, this is the first time you've ever encountered the idea that America adjusts its clock once a year? Really? I know you're still a Dutchman, but this is we're a pretty well-connected world at this point, right? Like but maybe I am just being the obnoxious American who assumes that everything about America is the most important thing, but I just feel like America is a pretty major player in the world stage, thus I would think the countries that regularly interact with America would be aware of its daylight savings time stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, so D, you're just a funny guy. I think that's my conclusion. Renata gone for the time being. Let's see, did they get our... All right, we still have our Omen and our... we have some ways to get this back. But mainly we have some ways to get value out of the spawn, draw a card from it, and then bring the spawn back. And if we... Let's see, this can't... We can send in the Forerunner and trade for the Alseid. That doesn't seem good. So yeah, we'll just try to spawn here. We did change. Maybe that's the thing, D. We changed our time. I think during the George Bush presidency, we shifted when daylight savings happened by like 3 weeks. Yeah, Mike is expressing that now. I think that was in the last 10, 15 years. Why judging? I'm eye-rolling a little bit, D, because when you ask the same questions over and over again, I think it hurts the quality of the stream. And so when you come in, ask about daylight savings, and then come back in and ask again, it makes me a little judgy. Or like, but like you got it, or maybe D, the first time when you're told what daylight savings is and you don't understand it, go Google it or something. Don't come back and ask chat again. We already talked about this, is my point. So yes, I get judgy when you want to keep talking about stuff we've covered. Well, we're somewhat landlordy because of the Wanderer, but now we're drawing some naturally as well. But, you know, we've drawn how many off the Wanderer? Like 4? Yeah, let's send in the spawn and see if they want to give us the damage. But we want to ultimately sacrifice the spawn to the Soul Reaper anyway. But we don't do that now, right? Oh, I guess we would, because let's see, we can't run this back now, but we might draw something else we want to play. So let's go ahead and sack it. And maybe we'll find an alternative play. Hey, there's an alternative play. We'll take it. We can get Renata back. And yeah, that's the thing to get back. D, we have a complicated relationship. I am kind to my subscribers. I'm even kind to you. I'm just kind in a different kind of way. Different kindness. Yeah, exactly. I'm kind to you because you're welcome here and I really like you. You know what I mean? I do, D. I really like you. That's why you're welcome here and I like... But sometimes I need to... You gotta be aware what's going on. Now I'm going to be aware of what's going on here. Let's not screw up this game because I'm worried about chat. Okay, so we can't even bring back the spawn yet. But what do we want to do? We could even... I guess let's go Renata Chimera for now. At some point, maybe we just have to give up and trade for... Maybe we trade now, trade Forerunner for Bounty. And then try to get on with it with these two. Yeah, I'm with Mike. Do you want to send in other stuff? Like, offer them eating the Soul Reaper or the Acolyte? If they don't want to block the Forerunner? Yeah, I know they eat other stuff, but we wouldn't care if they're letting a Forerunner live to attack. We don't really care too much, right? And we have Sack, so like if they do put Acolyte, like let's... I'm going to send Acolyte. I'm going to send Acolyte. Because if they want to... and yeah, even Wanderer. I'm going to leave Soul Reaper back, because we actually want... I want the ability to sack here, in which case we wouldn't play the Chimera. We can either sack Tomogus and Renata or play both of these. And since they did this, we'll do the play both of these plan. We have the sack mana if we give up Chimera. Oh no, that's not what we wanted them to do to save their Warden. That wasn't the plan. So now it's a now they're just going to eat the Forerunner instead of trade. So we are going to use our Chimera mana on drawing a card here. All right, Blessing ought to be useful. Not this turn, but it ought to be. Might have to chump with Soul Reaper, or we could just play Chimera to chump with that. No, play Renata. I'm running out of time there. I mean, we do have 1 hourglass, so I don't need to panic. But let's see, 4. We have 6 power. That's not enough to take out the Warden. The Warden can't attack. Oh, okay, the Warden can now attack. Rough. Taking 8 going to 3 is brutal, and I guess maybe unacceptable. But the trouble is, if we block, we're still taking 5. We can go to 5 instead of 3. We need to figure out how we're blessing our way out of this next turn, and we do get to bless the Chimera dead, but only if we keep Renata. So the question then is, do we just go to 3? And yeah, we could kill the other Warden. That's an interesting idea, but the trouble is that then we just lose to the Daybreak in the air. Like, we've got to get rid of the Chimera in the air and look to block on the ground with regards to the other. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Alseid, not being able to get rid of the Alseid is going to doom us here. So maybe we're just screwed. Or we can draw the other Blessing, though. Oh, no, then they'll give it... We need something instant. Like, we need instant speed removal, or we're just kind of dead. All right, well, I'm going to block... We got to chump, then. Yeah, this is a really rotten deck to beat us, but it happens. Magic is magic. I do not like Oppo's deck at all, and I say that because if they came here in chat afterwards, I would say that. Oppo, I don't like your deck that much. It's beating us right now, but boy, feels like you're getting away with one here. Yeah, let's see what they do. We 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We get 6, 7, 8, 9. So we do get to play all 3 of these cards. Yeah, this is actually okay because all 4 options here are good for us. The Alseid allows us to use our blessing. Either of the Wardens prevents the other one from being able to attack, and the Chimera is the thing we can't beat. So this could still all work out for us. Don't be so results-oriented, D. We still, A, might win this, and B, remember, don't change your what you're thinking because of, oh, actually, good, with the Renata we get to Viper and actually have a 2/4 Death Toucher on the ground. That's nice. Oh, but yes, we could go Renata to 5 to have extra blockers. That makes more sense. I'm with Mike. Anyway, D, remember, if this 3-color deck that we don't particularly respect beats us, that's just variance. The question is, you know, what can you learn from how you're being beaten? Like, if there's something about what we're seeing here that's like, oh, I never thought of how powerful and synergistic this Naya strategy with Alseid's Chimeras and Wardens is, but then you look at it and go, no, it's not. Like, this is not what you want to be doing. But sometimes you do things that you don't want to be doing in Magic and win anyway. I don't want to offer Renata for the other Warden, although it wouldn't be the worst. Like, maybe we could, but then they can send back the other direction, so we'll say no attacks. We could have sent Renata and offered that trade, but better that we have a thing that can actually just eat this Warden on defense. Zebra, you're right that Blessing on Renata has some concerns, but I think Mike is right that creating something that effectively blocks the one of the Wardens is really important to turning the corner here. Yeah, Oppo doesn't seem interested in cracking the amulet. Not sure why, but I'm never going to roll over it. I don't want to help him with that. I do want to see where we're at library-wise. They have 25 to our 15, so we're going to need to turn the corner and start attacking. And honestly, the Warden of the Chain that's 5/8 makes that really tough right now. But we do get to send in Vipers if we want. Viper just trades for Chimera now, though. Yeah, we got to do rights. I mean, we got to find a way to win. What are we going to do? What are we looking for that gets us a win here? Do we have our other... We have another Blessing. So we're looking for another Blessing. And at some point, our Bleeper will get it done. Right now, we don't have enough minus. But yeah, we're definitely going to rights. We gotta be aggressive despite, maybe even because of our library disadvantage. All right. Favor. Can we get him with a favor? Oh man. All right. Well, I'm gonna Hierophant. I'm running out of time here. I need to focus and figure out what I'm doing. It's that darn Warden, but we can send in like maybe Viper. No, Viper. I'm gonna send in the Viper and leave everything else back right now. But because I'm willing to trade the Viper for the Chimera here, since we've milled our other blessing. Favoring the spawn is interesting. Yeah, I'll do that next turn. I like that. Sorry, a lot of lines to consider, and I'm very nervous about my 0 hourglasses, so I'm not playing at my best at the moment. I do like the idea of favoring up our spawn. We'll look to do that next turn. Yeah, and Mike's got it right, too. First we kill their Chimera, and then augment our spawn. Speaking of spawn, we got another one. All right. Haha. Fair enough, Oppo. You got us. So we've created another problem. But yeah, we can just send in Death Touchers till they die or block. Almost can send in Renata. So we'll send in our Death Touchers and play our other spawn. Okay, well now it feels like we're closing in on just having the oomph to get there around the corner. Like, there's a lot of action here that they've got to figure out how to stop. Might help to crack the amulet, but no, Oppo loves that amulet. That he just forgot. I'd like to think I would not forget about an amulet, but maybe that's in my range too. We have no self-sacrifice, so we can't take the Pegasus out of the sky. Yeah, Pegasus gets some lifelink, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. They have they have 4 blockers, so we get 4 things through. They're virtual 8. Our smallest 4 things are 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we swing. We swing all and win. I just had to do the math, but yes, swing all here is 9. Sometimes I do the math. Sometimes math is for attackers and blockers. Well, if math is for blockers, it's probably what Oppo is doing right now. All right, I'm glad we got this one. Dionysus is happy we got this one. Didn't want to lose to a 3-color deck that was being pretty kind of greedy and weird about the 3 colors. Like, I don't know exactly how Oppo ended up here. Yeah, I could have gotten Renata at 8, but I did the math, and the math says we win, so I just didn't feel the need to do anything else other than attack all. Trust the math. All right, that was a good one. Touch and go there for a little bit, but we've made it to the lovely 5-win point. 5 wins, as regular viewers know, is the kind of a big plateau moment in the best of 1 queues because of the prize jump. You go from 300 at 3 to a big 150 gem jump to 450, and then a 200 gem jump to 650. So this run between 3 wins and 5 wins is where the gems really spike. So you love to get from 3 to 5 when you can. See ya, Blue Spirit Lady. We'll catch you next time. Oh, is it another 200 jump? I thought it was a 100 jump, but maybe I'm not thinking of it right. I think it went 650. Oh, yeah, you're right. 650, 850, 950. Right. Another. So we want this one as well. What do you know? Oh, finally, we only get 1 color in our opener. We're so unlucky. We do have a Grove Dancer, but we're on the play, and the meat of our hand is not active with this. If this were Swamp, we keep. But Forest, not the right combo here. This looks better. Much better. What do we give up? Omen or Soul Reaper? I think I'm keeping Wanderer. We obviously keep both of our lands. We obviously keep our Wanderer. We obviously keep our Spider. But then the black cards are all open to debate for me. Omen isn't as good until later, but we do have Wanderer to trigger it. And Favor is good for potential early stuff, but we don't know they're going to play 1 toughness. I'm going to bail on the Soul Reaper, I think. Oh, and I'm not dumping Arachnir. We're not dumping Arachnir. It's one of the black cards. I'm just not sure. Omen helps us dig up lands, but we have these both. All of them dig up lands. So, yeah, but so does Omen. So does all of these find lands. So the find land thing isn't as relevant, and Omen is better later. So I'm going to go ahead and Omen. And do we have tutoring? Like, I wonder if we're shuffling at all, is what I'm wondering. I don't think we're shuffling, but we're going to churn. The Wanderer churns through our deck, so we effectively shuffle. Yeah, I'm going to send Omen. Yeah, that makes me feel better. I mean, we'll see the Omen again if the game goes long, is my point. Yeah, we're not going to play Omen anytime soon, right, MC? So it seemed like the right one to get rid of. Give us a target. Give us a target. Not a target. Let's play Soul Reaper. Find some land and pass. We could send in the Spider, but I just don't think they block, and I'd rather keep the Spider around to chump on defense for that block. My total gem grind on the free-to-play. Well, it should be pretty up-to-date. I don't... you can go look, sum up the gem grind column. Yeah, but I don't think that... But Haj, but my read was they're not going to block. And if they're not going to block, they take 1, and then they can threaten... I just like... Chainweb they just take. I like Chainweb back on D because then it says, if you attack, I get my Chainweb in the graveyard. Let's take a look at attacks here, though. No attacks. At least nothing I want to do over Renata. So I'm going to just ignore what Oppo's doing right now. Renata it up. And then we'll come back after that. But if they're not going to attack us at all, and we have reasonable defense back against the stuff they are, you know, besides the armchair, then that makes sense to attack with that to me. Right, they got Renata, but we have some ways to get her back eventually. We can go Chimera, Bless, and Kill, and then Soul Reaper has an attack. And 4/3 Chimera pretty good too. So yeah, I'm going to do that play. And we find more land. And now I'll send all. If they want to race or eat the spider, all good. Yeah, I didn't mention Blessing because I wasn't really thinking about it. I should have at least thought about what might muck up our Chimera play. At the very least, if that play gets screwed up, we do just have a Chimera in the graveyard, which is not the worst place for it to be, but should have at least thought of the White Blessing and considered its implications. We can't get Spider back yet, but maybe you don't want it in there until go time because of black removing it. But it felt reasonable. That's true. The fight would fizzle. I was thinking we'd lose the fight, but it would just actually fizzle. That's true. Now, if we attack, what does it get us? We can still attack with Soul Reaper if we wanted to, 1-for-1 for the Temple Thief. We can, what do we got in the yard? Just Renata, that's too bad. They're stuck on 3. I want to try and be aggressive. We could throw Mogus's Favor on the Spider. What if we sent, well, but then it's just a 3. We could throw Favor on the Soul Reaper, and then it's a 4/2 that threatens to trade with more over there. Are we happy with that result? We get Mogus back. Yeah, they block with the Thief, and maybe that's not good enough as a result. But if we send the Chimera, then we're trading Courser for Chimera. Are we happy with that? All right. Yeah, that's the thing. We're not really getting Favor back because we want a armchair Spider with our graveyard fodder. The 2/3 has a clean attack if we're willing to trade it for the Temple Thief, but it's not a clean attack. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, then the 2/3. Gotcha, Mike. Sorry. Mike was saying if the Chimera trades, yes. I am with you now. And no reason to favor anything here, right? So we're going to pass. Maybe we draw a card off the Spider before we untap. Yeah, we can't bring it back yet, but it's not doing anything for us. Maybe drawing a card off it will give us what we want to do in the meantime. Not a bad aspect. We lose an escape card anyway. Oh, never mind. I was thinking this was in our hand. We lose nothing. Even better. Wish there was a little bit more clarity when one of these not in your hand cards was the only thing in your hand. I'm doing it. We need some action anyway, and Spider's not doing anything. There we go. Get all the action now. If we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we find a land with the Forerunner, we'll have Blessing available. It was in hand. Okay, it was in hand and just switched on me. Then what I would like is a more deliberate animation to the graveyard so that I could visually see what happens. Anyway, moving on, we're gonna play the Forerunner, look for another land. Oh, swing and a miss on finding land, unfortunately. That being said, we'll still offer this trade. Viper can attack, yes. But with Warbrier's Blessing, I don't necessarily want to offer it up yet. It's possible they play something like where we want to bless something big with Viper Blessing. All right, they don't want to give up their Courser for the Chimera, I guess. That's fine with us. It's putting us in a spot where they need... Yeah, I mean, that's a fine start, but we're still pretty good looking here from with this Blessing. And we can bless the Viper and take out the Courser, and the Viper can then attack, and it eats either one of these on a block. Yeah, I think we just Blessing away the Courser via Viper and then swing away. Shouldn't have let it use my swamp. I'll get another one, but should have manually tapped forest just to give ourselves maximum flexibility post. And favoring up... we could like favor the Soul Reaper, then that kind of becomes a must block. We could favor the Wanderer and make it a 3/2. It's really done a ton of work already. And then we get to drop the Grove Dancer as well. Yeah, there's no real need. Yeah, that doesn't help us, right? We can... I'm not going to favor anything. Doesn't seem like it does anything for us to favor here, so we'll just swing away. Just feels like it doesn't... Yeah, like, using favor feels like we're just trying to use our mana this turn, as opposed to if something happens where this stops being a good game for us, or, you know, Oppo turns the corner, we'll really like to have the graveyard fodder for the Spider. And we can go Grove Dancer and start self-milling a bit as well to help get the Spider sooner. Apathy helps him a little. I think we still have him, though. Maybe not. Let's see what happens here. We have... Yeah, we lost our sacrifice dude right when we could have used it. But again, let's see. We go Put favor on... again, I think we just want the big spider. How are we doing on... Yeah, we can't favor and spider. Although we could... Yeah, but what do you want to Mogus and what... I think we just swing... Yeah, I think thinking about Mogus is not the right idea. We're just going to swing all on spider. Mike's got it right. They're going to need, like, Shatter the Sky or the Sweeper if we resolve the spider. Could have even done another self-cycle, I suppose, but I did not in the moment. Let's do those. Although I suppose Forerunner might be the thing we would want back before the Renata at this point. Maybe we should have exiled Renata. I don't think it matters too much. If they can find a Meyer, you know, -3/-3, that might buy him a little time. I don't think that's going to do it, though. Eidolon getting some extra lifelink puts them into virtual 6. Maybe they can survive for the turn on a virtual 6. Oh, yeah, they sure did. They got screwed over by the auto tapper there. Sorry, Oppo. I know how that goes. And do we... Okay, so... Can't even cast the favor because we don't have enough in the yard, although we don't have enough to... We don't have the self-mill anyway, so we're just going to swing in. Going to leave the lands in hand. If Oppo does have discard 2, we would appreciate that, because then we could get enough fuel to rebuy. Three, 4. Well, we're going to be able to Venomous and then Mogus's favor, so let's see what that looks like at least. Start with the self-mill. There you go, spawn. Nice. That makes me want to save the spawn, though, so yeah, I'm not gonna bother favoring again. We send in a 4/5, and that's clean. That's a must block, so they've got to put, like, at least say this chump on it. This kills anything blocking. This could get eaten, but I guess if they spend their turn using Evangel on the Wanderer, that's good for us. Oh, sorry, I thought I had that selected as attacker. I meant to attack with it. Mike doesn't want to send the Wanderer. I think it's fine, Mike, because if they want to spend their time on that card, it's good for us. But it's not really free, right? Because then they have to... Because these two are just lethal. These kill everything that gets blocked by them. That's all I was thinking. Anyway, though, we will pass here and try and get the scooper. That's not enough. That might somehow be able to keep them from dying, but I don't think it leaves them in any winnable spot. Mana. We can't Omen, Renata, and Farika's spawn, but I think Farika's spawn ought to be enough here. No, we only have one Omen, so I think that was the one we bottomed, yeah. And it came up with 13 cards. Heck, we probably cycled it through twice. All right, another plus 200 on our gem count for the day. Making this pretty appropriate. Way ahead of you, Timnos. But since you redeemed something I was going to play anyway, I'll give you a different redemption, Timnos, if you want to pick a different meme for funsies. All right, we're going for 7 wins. This is fun. Weren't we at 2-2? I think we were at 2-2, worried about not finishing above 500. So we went from on the edge of elimination to playing for max wins. Yeah, this looks great. 1 land away from greatness. And now, at the very least, we have Wanderer into Lampad, even if we find 0 lands. I'm going to go ahead and offer him Viper straight up. I don't think they'll take it, but, you know, it's my offer of bolting the bird. But yes, oh, now we really need a land. Come on now, land us. Yeah, thank you, deck. Lampad or Caryatid? I'm going to go with the Caryatid. They got a 2-spell turn off there, and I want to remove their, like, maybe they have a powerful splash card or something. Haj wants the Lampad, and the Lampad maybe is a problem long game, but I'm going to bolt the bird, Haj. Partly because maybe it keeps them from being able to empty their hand for Chapter 2 of Nightmare to work. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that that helped us, and we still got a 2-for-1. In fact, heck, I don't know if they. Here's the funny thing: unless they have, now maybe they have a non-creature. Alucardio, thanks for the host. Maybe they don't have any. Maybe they don't have any non-creatures, or if they don't have any other non-creatures, though, they shouldn't have cast this because. Well, no, I get. Never mind. They want to keep their graveyard. I was forgetting that Chapter 3 mattered, but suffice it to say that was a good result for us ultimately. Here, though, we could bless the Lampad, but I like just getting the Chimera down, I think, and then I mean, heck, I'd even not, like, again, I'll if they want the Viper for Lampad, I'll take that trade too. All right, so Lampad's annoying, but Ephemia is pretty bomby. Got to get rid of Ephemia right quick. So we're going to do that now with the Blessing and the... Well, we could do the Chimera. If we did that, we get a 4/3. But we kind of don't care if the Chimera dies. So I'm going to go ahead and bless the Viper. One 3 Death Toucher, a solid little blocker here.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Archangel wants to bless the Chimera. Making a 4/3 is totally reasonable. But since we want this to die anyway, I figured put it on the thing that maybe if it lives, we're a little happier. And to that end, I am going to offer this Chimera even for their piddly little 2/2, which I'll probably take. Care94 with the sub. Thank you so much. Oppo maybe stuck on land. We'll see how relevant that becomes. Another thing is we get to drop now Renata ahead of bringing back Chimera. That's pretty cool. Both of these attacks are ostensibly good. They might have something in hand, but we're going to put them to the test. And if they spend mana, that's actually good for us anyway. It clears the way for Renata a little more faithfully, but we're going to do that anyway. So definitely Renata. Because then we can Acolyte and get a 3/4 and get something like a Nightmare back, or Nightmare for the Lampad. Although we can't cast it all next turn. That's rough. Grindy, grindy. Here we go. Trying to find 7 wins through a black-green mirror is going to be, well, it might be here a couple hours. Yeah, so we should go get that Nightmare now, right? Sacking, no, I don't. I think we want the Viper out. Rage Guard is interesting. But I'm going to go for the Acolyte right away. We don't want them... They're going to get 1/2/2 out of this, even with the Nightmare plan. So let's at least hold them to that plan. At least hold them to that 1, I mean. Five, 3. We could... No, it's only a 1/1. If this were actually a 2/1, I might consider Renata for Acolyte and Lampad just to keep the board a little clearer. But it's not. We can send in Moss Viper as a 1/1. And if they take that trade, it does help our eventual escape fuel. So yes, I'm going to offer Viper for this stuff. Nightmare in hand might scare them off from playing it, and that'd be fine with me too. Interesting choice here. Not clear that we won't... Oh, they don't have an enchantment, but I thought they had a creature. Yeah, no, they can. They have omens and Caryatid. They have 2 things to do that with. I'm going to take out the thing with 2 power. I think it helps us... This is maybe the better card in the abstract, but this helps us attack better sooner. That's true. We don't want him to return this. That's fair. All right, if we're worried about Acolyte value, we can do Lampad. Ephemia is... I thought... Really? Okay. Well, they have an enchantment anyway, is the point, so that it doesn't matter. I should read my cards. Maybe they didn't want it to be... Yeah, I guess they wanted it to be... They didn't want it to be too powerful, but... It's a little weird how there's so many things with different... Slightly different functioning. Well, I'm going to send in the Berserker... I'm going to Berserker Renata and send it in on the off chance that maybe they don't think about the Indestructible and try to trade off the Typhon. Sometimes people forget that Berserker provides indestructibility. Discard 2. Could go Loathsome here, but let's just self-mill and get another big Death Toucher. We could hold lands, but we've seen that we end up using our mana pretty efficiently here, so holding lands has its own drawbacks that I'm not sure is correct, just to play around possible discard. And let's see, Berserker at 6/5, 1-for-1s with the Forerunner, and 1-for-1s with Typhon plus Acolyte double block. That's still good enough. That makes me think maybe they do have some recursion in hand, or maybe they're just willing to play the Ephemia now. They already had the... Man, what a mirror here. We got a lot of the same cards in our decks. We too will remember that that is indestructible. Four trades with Rage Scarred, and then we can make a 6/3 Chimera. 6/3 Chimera still just trades with the Typhon. If we play the Chimera, yeah, Renata can swing if we're okay with letting her go, which I think at this point we are, because we'd be playing our last creature. I'm gonna hold on to the Nightmare for at least another cycle here, another turn cycle. Kind of have to take Renata, right? It's just, how do you not take that offer, especially when they know we have the Nightmare. Our hand isn't even disguised. Yeah, figured they had to do that. Stephen Hacking points out we could just run the Nightmare out, and then they would, in response, run the Ephemia out. They would get one activation on Ephemia, but then we would discard or exile their libraries or their graveyard. So, but they're low enough on life. Like, I'm surprised they're attacking here. They must have a follow-up play coming. Because I don't see why we don't just accept the terms of this race. Maybe they thought we would trade with Chimera and they could get Chimera out of our yard. Yeah. Okay, they did Ephemia anyway. Because I was going to go ahead. Okay, we're going to Nightmare the Harpy and go then. Okay, cool. We have Nightmare and Spawn, and then we can do sack, respawn, pun intended, next turn. Definitely starting with a Nightmare on their token maker, though. Want that graphic to go away so I know I'm clicking correctly. And then now we get pretty big attacks like so, and the Spawn. I mean, we may be risking some sort of really devastating crackback, but they've got some must blocks here. Three, 4 is a 1 for 1. We'll take out, let's see, we were a little worried about them acolyting acolytes. It doesn't seem like that's what they're up to. Is it worth it to keep this on board? This is also represents devotion. Yeah, also, that's a good point. If they do have recursion, they're probably not going to get the acolyte anyway, although they could get acolyte and then the other thing. Anyway, I'm going to take, I'm going to go ahead and take out the acolyte, and they have some recursion possibility here, but I still like our position, especially coming down with the spawn here now. Yeah, they don't have a lot of wiggle room here. Interesting. We actually got something out of that. Nice. 4/4 means that well, Freaka spawn. Let's see, if we attack with everything, they're gonna block and eat the spawn, which is basically the same thing anyway, so we might as well just sack the spawn now and recast. Right? Do we have the graveyard for it? We do. Don't we just want to do this pre-combat, though? Some people are talking about deciding what to do mid-combat, but I'm thinking we just... because we spawn now and we get rid of one of the blockers. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if we do it after combat, they've had to chump with their 2/2 and we get something better. That makes sense. So that's what we expected. Yep. And we want all of these. Oh, we can go ahead and take a life from from the spawn. Viper, Blessing, Wanderer can go. All right, great way to start the week, chat. We did it. I didn't run a par poll here, but I doubt this would have been one that everybody would have said was a 7-win deck, but it was a good deck. Back when we were 2-2, I was like, I really don't think this is a 2-3 deck. I didn't think this was necessarily a 7-win deck either, but I'll take it. Very nice. Mama, the Eternal Optimist. 8 packs. We'll get back to those tomorrow, I think. Looks like we'll also get a gold draft tomorrow, so that's nice. All right, great. Let's get to Soapbox. I'll go to here. Mike wants to constructed battle. Do you want to battle with this deck, Mike? Sure, I'll do it with Mike. Mike wants to play one more game, so I'll do it. Are we buddies, Mike? Well, I don't know. Mike has 27 accounts, so I have no idea if I'm buddies with Mike. But we'll play one more for funsies and see if... Mike, bring me your best. Like, what's your favorite deck you've had since the deck saving began? Let's see. A monster deck from Mike 1976 here. Is that you, Mike? I mean, yeah, you gotta tell me. I mean, it might just somebody else be jumping in. I want to give the game to Mike. Oh, if it's not Mike, I'll scoop. Oh, Lauren, if okay, cool. I figured it was probably Mike. Oh, did I save this deck out? Did I screw up? Oh, I don't think I saved the deck. Darn it. I'll still play you, Mike, but I totally forgot to bring that deck out. Bummer. I blame chat. You were supposed to remind me of that. I can also rebuild it, but that would take too long. For now, I think I'm gonna... Let's try Trap Hound. Yeah, we can rebuild it. It's just too much. It's not good TV for me to rebuild that deck right now, so we will... I'll get that into our archives for future play, but I'm not gonna do it right now. Even Dionysus wouldn't punt this one, but you guys are hilarious. And I don't care. Go for it. With Favored and Sentinels, I'm going to keep this. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll get out of your way, too. Ah, we are going cross format, says Mike. I'm in. Let's do this. I'm gonna go Favored. We'll try and race the crunch. All right, Mike's holding back now. That's good. I'm going to Sentinel's Eyes pre-combat. I guess he could have Reach Out and Kill It removal, so there's some risk here. Yeah. But we do have Eyes going to the yard, so it's not the worst. We can get it back later, and we do get to keep our Hound around, thanks to that.
Than in the Undercity.
It can't attack alone, but can block alone, which is unfortunate. But we can go Favor on the token. And then, oh, I thought I'd be able to Eyes. How many does Eyes need? 2 other. Oh, right, because Hound is a non-bow. I thought I could do this, but then nope. I got my own non-bow going on. Well, I'm going to offer up Hound for Vraska. Oh, it does have Menace. Never mind, thanks. Menace is good. Menace saves us. Totally didn't see the Menace. And you know I don't read cards. Ouch. Well, with that dead, we can at least Sentinel's Eyes again. And Sentinel's Eyes eventually on the Hierophant seems pretty good. I'm going to start here. Start Hierophant. We do have a block on the Crunch that I would take. I'll trade Hierophant for the Crunch if they send in, and we can double block. Or a single block, really. But yeah, I guess we just, with Death Touch, we don't even need to double. Yeah, we'll just take that trade. Mainly I'm taking this trade because even if we if we eyes up the Venomous Hierophant or whatever, it still doesn't win here, so we're gonna have to make that trade eventually. And with Rise to Glory, we can at least get our dude back. In fact, we could do it right now if we wanted. I can get the Hound back. If we get the Hound back, we can't do Sentinel's Eyes, or whatever we leave behind. Yeah, we could favor the Wrangler and not worry about the eyes. We could, yeah, maybe we do this. I'll rise later. Let's get our eyes back out. I kind of like the Daxos eyes plan. And then we can Vigil. And now we got a Courser attack. Well, they've got a Stinger. That Stinger's annoying. But I'm not going to block because of that right now, so I'll attack. I mean, this is still a good blocker. It's just not a good blocker against their against the 4/4. So let's see. Now we're gonna have to find. Well, I'm still thinking we're in okay shape here. We have tools to be able to trade with that Stinger. Not the Piper, though. So now I like favoring the Wrangler. Let's Rise to Glory. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. I was trying to... Ugh, that's annoying. Annoying, but I am going to send both. Looks like it didn't even really matter. I just wanted to figure my turn out before doing that. If we rise the Hound, we don't get Sentinel's Eyes. If I'm still gonna do it. We're winning this race. Can we? With we can't cast spells from graveyards because of Kunros. But Mike still has to come up with good plays here because the lifelink lets us recover this race. Because we have a Menace lifelinker, that's why. Like, I just felt like Menace lifelinker was a better tool in this game than a Hierophant. And now Mike has to come up with an answer for the doggy or a second creature or whatever, or I think we just win on our next turn even. Right. Unless this is something very impactful. Plane-wide celebration is pretty darn impactful, but is it impactful enough? I was sitting here staring at the treatment they did on this lightning bolt and feeling, I get it. I mean, you work with what you have, but fluid flowing lightning bolts don't make sense to me. That doesn't seem like what lightning looks like. All right, so now they're at 9 with 2 creatures, and well, let's see if we can get there. Did Mike give themselves an out? Lagana Band gets back Eyes. We could, if we wanted to do that. Or gets back Favor. Not this turn, but we would draw it. If we send in, this is just, so they can't really, if they double block, if Mike double blocks Kunaros, and then our other big thing, we get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can sack successfully for the other 5. So they don't have a, really Mike doesn't have a block on Kunaros or he loses. And then, so let's now look at if they, so Mike lets Kunaros through, goes to 6, and then blocks blocks 3 of our other ones, which we fire off 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 5, 4, 3. Then this creates, then one of them has to get through. I think if we swing away, we just win and we sacrifice whatever they block, right? I think we win if we do that. So I'm gonna send in. I didn't fully do the math. If this were for stakes, I would math this out a little more carefully than I just did, but I think I see that no matter how he blocks, we sack out on Lampad and should get there. It was making sure that once I established he would die if he blocked Kunaros, I think attacking with all became the clear play. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 via damage, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we're gonna sack these now. Just again, working out the math, making sure our math is as expected. And it looks like we get Exaxes. Eight and 2. Well, no, this wasn't the deck we played today because I didn't save that one out. But 8 and 2 on the day, on play at least. All right, well, that was fun. A fun little sudden surprise game for y'all. But now we're going to find a raid host, a raid target, and call it a stream. Good game, Mike. Scotty Nada is doing their thing. Autumn Lily doing their thing. Lord Tupperware, Lavinius, Alias, Huey. What do you think? I'll take any of those suggestions. Whoever wants to make a suggestion, I'll rate them. Sorry for the knuckle crack for those of you who are driven crazy by that nonsense. And I guess while someone tells me who to raid, I will say farewell to our YouTube friends. Thank you so much for hanging out. Fun day of Magic. Good kickoff to the week. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.